What's up, everybody? This is Michael Sean with Unison Games Cafe.
Bloop.
And I'm here with one of our local players, Griffin.
Hi.
Yeah, so we are doing a deck profile because turns out Griffin's kind of good at the game. He got 13th place at a regional tournament in Mesquite, Texas
Bloop.
that we went to. And yeah, he had a really good run there. What was your final record?
5-2.
5-2. Very nice. So yeah, 13th place at this regional, and he was able to bring it home. So yeah, you won some stuff. Show off what you won.
So first off, they ran side events the day before on Saturday, and I won one of those, and they gave out the top 64 boo for those. So I got a couple of those.
Such a nice card.
And then top 64, one more boo. Top 32, I got my serialized Goku Mini.
Very nice.
And then top 16, the big one is Vegeta.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. We are going to go into some depth on the deck list and things like that. But one of the things I want to ask right at the top is we actually saw Vegeta do really well at the tournament in general.
Yes.
Bloop.
You played a bunch of matches. Why do you think Vegeta did so good at this event?
I think it has a very solid matchup into everything. A better matchup than people think it does in certain decks as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at some of the other stuff that got top 16 with androids.
Bloop.
We've got Halo Ku, we got Broly, we got Majin Buu, Halo Ku again, and then we got two black decks with Bardock and Goku GT, and we have a lone mini Vegeta.
Lone
Blue mini Vegeta. So yeah, just even in like those, what are the matchups like for you in those? They're mostly positive, I would say, right?
For the most part, at least I think so. Droids is a tough one because it's a similar sort of stall and tank deck.
Sure.
Black can also be difficult with the new Gogeta card from FB06.
Right, you can't stand up your energy.
Yeah, it kind of shuts off the leader, but if you can play around it, you can still do well.
Sure. That's why you need Blue Power Awakening, right?
Blue Power Awakening for sure, and also just plenty of ways to rest it down in the first place.
Yeah, makes sense. Cool. Let's walk through the list.
Sure thing.
Yeah, so we'll move some of the shiny cards over. We're gonna walk through the list card by card so you guys can see. And let's start with the leader.
Sure.
Get the fancy one.
I do. Opened it up myself.
Yeah, let's go. So yeah, it's pretty simple. Just at the end of the turn, right, you get to stand up to your energies.
Yep.
Lets you play a bunch of extra cards, which is really cool.
That's the idea.
Yeah. Sick. Okay, cool.
Put them up here.
So yeah, walk us through. What's the next card we're looking at here?
So I guess next we have the Cantrip Suite.
Sweet. So we got 8 of those?
Full 8.
Sweet. We got Piccolo,
Bloop.
obviously the one you should be playing if you're playing yellow.
Absolutely. Piccolo Mini. Piccolo is one of the best guys just ever. And then I used the Psyche Demon because I had a couple of the release fun stamps.
I love that.
That's it.
That's fantastic.
That's pretty much it.
Sweet.
So yeah, just full 8 cantrips. I like the consistency of seeing everything I need to in the deck, especially some of the more top end stuff.
Yeah, put some combo power on the board.
Exactly. And yeah, just more and more combo.
Seems really good. What else we got at 1?
Also at 1, we have One Drop Frieza, staple of yellow. Not much to...
You have to play the card.
Have to play the card. It's so good.
Just play it, rest anything down. Doesn't have a cost restriction. Yep. And on top of that, it's a 10K and a 10K combo.
I think I used it more as a 10K than actually resting things down.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yellow struggles with their combo power, so having a 10K is just, it's really important, and it's there if you need it.
Especially when they try to just keep swinging 25s at you with peel off.
Makes sense.
Just 10Ks.
Yeah. That's really good.
And then just another classic staple of Yellow Vegeta is the Bulma that gets back your extras.
You have to play it. It's so busted.
You have to play it, and you have to play it at 4.
As somebody that's played against your deck a bunch, it's so frustrating when it hits the board because it's like you think they're spent out of their resources, and it's like, nope, I'll just grab back.
Yeah.
Pretty much all the extra cards that you play for the price of 1, which is so good.
Definitely. One thing of note for this card is that I basically treat this card as an on-play and not really an activate main.
Right.
So I don't get in the mindset of it being anything more than it is. Treat it like an on-play.
Yeah.
And you won't be disappointed.
Yeah, because it should die. It should
die.
As soon as it hits the board, it should die.
100%.
You should not ever leave that card alive.
No. Don't let me use this more than once. That's so much value.
It really is. It really is. It's bad enough as just the first time.
Oh, yeah. And then another classic card for this deck, but only at 2, is the SR Bulma from set 2.
Yeah, this is a little bit more unique, right? This isn't something that everybody plays all the time.
I don't think the other players were running it in the top 16. There might have been one.
Yeah, what do you think about the card with that noted?
This I also sort of treat the same way as the other Bulma, where I treat it more of an on play. It works best when I need to awaken. Like I like to awaken turn 3.
Yeah,
Is usually when I do that.
makes sense.
That's taking 2 hits from your opponent and then one of this and then another self awakener.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it looks like of the top 16, 5 Vegetas,
Yes.
and of those lists, 2 of them played the SR Bulma. You at 2, and then another player at 3.
3, okay.
So, but the other 3 did not play any of them. So that's definitely one of those spots that is unique to your list.
Yeah, and it's one of those cards that I don't want it at more than 2, really, since it's just going to get removed anyway.
Right. Yeah, because that's another card. If you let that live, you're just not playing the game right.
Again, I basically just use it as a self awakener, and if I get a card out of it, then that's just a bonus.
Yeah, 100%. That's awesome. So that's all your ones, right? Until we get to the extra cards.
Yep, that's the one drops.
How are we looking from beyond that?
For 2, there's not a whole lot.
Bloop.
There's just 2.
Sweet.
It's Pooey Pooey, and this is for playing against Broly and for playing against Satan City.
Yeah.
It blows up a field, and it did come up, and it felt good.
Okay. That's supposed to be the next question, how it felt, because I know that's one of the newer additions to your deck, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. So Satan City, I think, is kind of a rough matchup, right? How did that do into Satan City?
So I played Satan City once, and it was a very, very close game
Yeah.
that ended in time with him with 2 cards left in deck.
Yeah.
So had we not gone to time, it may have gone to me.
Right. Right. And did you get to play this card?
I did.
Sweet. And it felt good?
It did. I played it really early too. I got rid of their first field, and it let me keep things on board longer.
That's
I
awesome.
couldn't just flip a Gohan over.
Yeah. Seems pretty good. Isn't it a 10K combo too?
It is. More 10Ks. And
Why not?
blocker. And I did use it as a blocker once.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's sick. I love that.
Just
Okay.
Just a neat little helpful tool there.
Yeah. Talk about another yellow staple here, right?
Another yellow staple from set 5 is Janemba.
That's sick. Yeah, that card's so good.
Yeah, it just does everything. It awakens you, it gives you, it's energy efficient, and it rests something down like the Frieza. It just does everything I need it to.
Yeah.
And the best turn 3 for this deck is Janemba into 1-cost Bulma.
Yeah.
Take 2 life and awaken in turn 3,
Right. That's really good.
and then just be online for the rest of the game.
So good. And honestly, like turn 3, like play that into a 1-drop that draws you a card is really not bad either.
I did that plenty of times as well.
Yeah. So good. So good. All right. Classic Janemba.
And then this is probably the best card in the deck.
This is the guy.
One of the best cards in yellow
Yeah.
is SR Frieza or SCR Frieza.
So good.
So good. Most of my games that went well for me is just play this and then swing with it every turn.
Right.
Remove things when there's things to remove,
Yeah.
and just keep hitting them.
Yeah.
And then they can't remove it.
It's too many resources to swing into the Frieza. This is something that we were talking about even like the day of in between games is like as soon as people start trying to swing into Frieza, they probably are going to lose the game because there's too many resources to try to get rid of it.
Yeah, definitely. I get more out of you swinging at it than you get out of swinging at it because of the extras giving me just more things.
Right, right. So yeah, if you're playing against Yellow Vegeta, don't swing at Frieza. Just kill them before they have too many.
Unless you think you can kill the Frieza, don't swing at the Frieza. Just swing at my life.
Yeah, makes sense.
Then more yellow staples. 4 of the 4-cost Goku.
Yep.
Bloop.
Just freezes 2 things
Yep.
when you play it, and it's just another one of those cards that just goes in yellow decks.
Yeah.
But you don't really use it until the end of the game, truthfully.
Dude, it's just a tank of a card.
Yeah, and another 10K combo. Again, most of my uses for this card was just as a 10K combo.
Now we got something new, right? Something like weirdly aggro for your deck.
Yeah, it may seem weirdly aggro, but I sort of treat it like the rest of the cards in my deck as an on-play.
Yeah.
It's the new Vegeta Mini from the starter deck, the Daima starter deck. And I treat it like a on-play, as in, you play it, I swing at something for 30 twice, and I remove a 4-drop.
Right.
Which is most of the meta.
Yeah, four's a good number. This is another card that not everybody was playing that plays top 16 with this list, but there are others.
I figured there'd be a lot of it.
Yeah, so I think of the 5 decks, as I look at them right now, there was one list that was on the 3-drop boos that have barrier as well, and that list doesn't play these.
That list is the one that I lost that mirror match.
Oh, that was your other loss.
That was one of my losses. Yeah.
Okay.
Was that mirror match, and the barrier boos hurt.
Yeah. 3 for a barrier boo is kind of cool.
Yeah.
All right, what else are we looking at here?
A classic card, and I don't know if I'm alone in this card, but I loved this card.
The card's so good. I feel like people gave up on that card way too early.
I think so as well.
It's so busted. It kills like the problematic stuff.
It comes in, it kills one anything, and then your opponent can't finish you off the next turn.
Right.
They have to deal with the threat first.
Right. Well, and everybody, all y'all's decks were playing that card.
Oh yeah,
which is important. So it's important to note, like the people that cracked Vegeta in this way, like they understood the value of that card.
Yeah.
So very cool. We got our super combos.
Yeah, we just used Dende from the starter deck.
As you should.
As I should.
I love it.
Yeah. Well, Dende.
All right, let's get to the meat of this deck. The meat of this deck, right? It's in the cards you get to play on your opponent's turn since you're standing up to 2 energies. So what are we looking at here?
All right, what I ran first off was 2 copies of Time Rewound.
Sick.
A classic that works so well with the Bulma.
Yeah.
And I just like having the 20k on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's very good defensively.
Yeah, 20k combo for 1 energy is not bad.
Yeah. I've got a 1 of Death Ball.
Bloop.
So good. Just as another sort of removal piece, either to stop my opponent from swinging multiple times, or even using it just to get rid of their combo power preemptively.
Sure.
So that I had more of a chance to sustain.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oh my gosh, it's the best card in the deck.
It compared to the Frieza, I'm not sure, but
that's fair.
They're probably tied for best card in the deck right now.
I'm gonna come out and say that, in my opinion, this is the best card because it's just so good.
It is so good.
Yeah.
It is incredibly strong. There needs to be a 3-drop rested anywhere, not even your own board, just on either board.
Right.
They gave Yellow a Gallic gun, which is exactly what the deck needed to be competitive viable. It just needed more cards.
Right. That was plus 15 draw a card for 1 energy if you have a 3-drop on your board or your opponent's board in rest mode. Insane. Like they're going to be swinging at you with a 3-drop or more when you use this card.
Anything that costs 3 or more is going to swing for probably 25, 30, which is exactly where this card likes to sit.
Exactly.
Helps very much against Boo, swinging all those 30s at me.
Right. Dude, Boo just gets absolutely wiped by this deck, I feel like. It's probably not close.
So the Boo players I talk to, they say, oh no, our deck hard counters yours. And I say, I don't know. I'm undefeated against Boo for the weekend so far. So.
Right. Yeah, it's clearly not.
Yeah.
What else are we looking at for these extra cards?
We've got another classic, Energy Absorption. The most valuable part of this card, truthfully, is the resting more than the freezing.
Sure.
Especially versus Black with the Gogeta. This rests it, freezes it, and then that gives me the time to respond to it.
Right. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and then the card draw is just extra.
Card draw is so good.
The card draw is just a little extra bonus.
Once again, like the Frieza, you're paying 1 energy to rest any card. And that's really important because it's actually not something that Yellow can do that often. Like there's not that many cards that rest anything, no cost restriction or anything like that. And Frieza and Energy or Absorption are 2 cards, and they only do it for 1 energy. So just pretty good.
And on top of that, it might be the only card that rests and freezes in one shot.
Right.
You normally need 2 cards to do that.
Card's busted.
But it does both.
It's really good. Dude, another card people gave up on way too early.
People gave up on this card a long time ago until Broly started running around, and then everyone came back to it.
Right.
Myself included.
Yeah.
Because it just feels not good in a meta where it's dominated by things that cost 3 and 4 to have tech pieces against something that costs 6.
Right.
But the worst case scenario is it's 25,000 power.
Yeah.
Offensively or defensively.
That's true. What kind of stuff are you removing with this? Talk to us about like your games. When did you play it?
I used it against Gogeta when I played against Black. I used it to remove Goku Black when I played Starter Deck Blue Vegeta, FS02.
Yeah.
Removed his Goku Black with it.
Did it do anything for you in the mirror?
The Golden Frieza costs 6, and it removes that efficiently.
Yeah.
Those, I think, are the biggest use cases for it.
That's fair. And like you said, it's at minimum, it's 25 at some point in the game.
I played against a Broly in the side event that I won, and this was best card in their deck.
Yeah.
Just grabbed it back with every single Bulma.
Yeah, just kept playing it over and over again.
Yep.
And that's why you can play these cards at like 1 and 2 because you recycle them with the Bulma if they turn out to be the card you need for the matchup.
Right. Every single extra card that is 1 or 2 copies is actually 5 or 6 copies.
Right. And then results of training.
Then results of
That's
training.
8 copies, bro.
Yeah, results of training. Not only is results of training now at 8 copies, but results of training. Each one of those copies replaces itself.
So good. So good. What else we got?
We've got Hell Rakshasa.
Busted.
Another wonderful addition from FB05. It is so helpful into playing against Boo.
Yeah.
This is the best tool against Boo and against Broly, truthfully.
Yeah.
Just rest, again, one of those just rest anything and combo out of whatever swing is coming your way.
So good.
Yeah.
So good. Then we got one more card, right?
Last one is the least spicy card in the list. Every yellow deck runs a couple Final Explosion.
Oh, it's so good.
So good.
So good, especially against like Boo, against Satan City, where there's like a lot of ready mode back or active mode battle cards, and you just like throw them all in rest mode, kill the 2 biggest ones, or the 2 that have 10k combos, or whatever have you. The turn you want to go in for the kill, you rest all their combo power, swing over it. It's so good.
Yep.
So it's such a mean card.
It is, but it's so good.
Whenever you're playing and your opponent has like the turn 3 Final Explosion, or the Final Explosion like after you just played out your hand, it feels so bad.
It's best for after peel off looping.
Yeah.
3 peel offs on board, 4 cantrips, just all the combo power is gone now.
That makes a lot of sense. So this is the full list. How many cards are we looking at? Do you remember?
54.
54 cards. All right. So this is the 54 card Vegeta list, the 13th place Griffin's list. Really, really solid. Talk to us while we're looking at this list. Talk to us about some of your matchups. What did you play?
Round 1, I played against Starter Deck Blue Vegeta, FS02, which was fun to see because that was my first deck.
Right.
It was good to see him come around with it, and the game was pretty in my favor.
Yeah.
It was just a matter of how long the game took.
Right.
After that, I played against Boo, and it was a player that I had played against in one of the side events.
Yeah.
But it was a much closer game this time, but I did still keep good control of the game and win.
Yeah, I just don't. I struggle to see how Boo could be a matchup that is not in your favor.
Yeah, with Rakshasa and Deathball, which in the future Deathball is going to be a 2 of just to see it because Boo is everywhere.
Yeah. Maybe we'll get to a couple more tweaks too at the end of the video. I think that's a great idea.
Right. After that, I played the mirror match. The first mirror match, which I won by outlasting and decking them out.
Yeah.
Which is something this deck is so good at, just holding out because it combos so much more efficiently than any other deck.
Right.
That it uses less cards. So
makes sense.
It just decks out less. And also being at 54 cards helps with that when everyone else is at 50.
Sure.
After that was, unfortunately, my first loss against Satan City, but the game was incredibly close. He had 2 cards left.
Nice. And that player went on to do really well. I think, wasn't he the highest ranking Satan City player?
I believe he was the highest ranking Satan City player, and he was third
in the event.
After that, I played against Gogeta, which was probably my most stressful game.
Yep.
Even more stressful than Satan City. I felt in control of the Satan City match. I did not feel in control against Gogeta because it was an incredibly aggressive Gogeta list using 3-cost Bardock and Chi-Chis to just swing a lot repeatedly and keep putting cards in hand.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing is get rid of the trunks as early as you can so that when the Gogeta comes out, you can blue power it, which is exactly how I got through that.
Makes sense.
Following that was another mirror match where I lost to the Yellow Vegeta that placed in 6th place. That was the one that was running the barrier boos in addition to the Friezas, and it was a very aggressive mirror match that I was not ready for.
Yeah.
Frankly, I think it was the only match that wasn't close.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, that's pretty interesting with the 3-drop boost. I mean, they could just start swinging at you so much quicker than you swing at them.
Exactly. Yeah, it's playing an immovable threat on turn 3
Right.
instead of, or even turn 2.
Yeah.
With marker.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Yeah. Then last round was against droids, which is not a matchup I'm really favored towards,
Yep.
but we managed to squeak it out.
Yeah. You squeaked it out by milling them as well.
I did. It was another game where they ran out of cards,
Yeah.
which
yeah.
is really the only way I could have won that.
Yeah, I walked over and watched the end of that match, and I noticed that I thought that you would start swinging because of how few cards they had in their hand, but you had kind of resolved like a turn or two earlier before I got there that it was a mill them out matchup.
Exactly.
And you did exactly that. So I think that's probably part of playing the deck is a lot of matchups you're going to win by milling. A lot of matchups you're going to win by actually swinging on them. You got to be able to make that decision.
I am not usually trying to kill my opponent. I am trying to outlast them when they're out of resources.
Right. But sometimes you still win the game by actually taking their life.
Yeah, with Frieza's and the 5-cost Vegetas on board, it happens just swinging 30 over and over and over again.
Right.
It'll just happen where they die, and that happened a few times.
Right.
But the biggest thing that I use those for is I just swing at board.
Right.
I make sure that they have nothing to use against me. That's why the extras are even more efficient, because I only have to, if I can only use one extra a turn when I need to, then I can last so much longer.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So you're trying to run them out of resources. So would you say you're keeping an open mind towards how you're actually going to win the game? Just primarily you're trying to whittle their hand down, keep their board at bay.
Oh, absolutely.
And then whatever win condition
the
presents
entire
itself.
game, I'm playing just a resource game. I'm just trying to keep more resources than my opponent the entire time. I'm not even really playing to win.
That's fair.
I'm just playing to last.
Right. And then eventually you win because when you run out of cards in this game, you just lose.
Yeah, you just lose. They either run out of cards in deck, in hand, or in life, whichever one comes first.
Yeah. No, I like that's a great way to put it. That's a really good way to put it.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some tweaks. You played a bunch of games. We
played a lot of games.
We logged a lot of games on this deck over the weekend, and
Yeah.
then you played obviously the 7 rounds of the tournament as well, plus 3 rounds of a side event before that. Are there any tweaks that you're thinking about making to this deck moving forward?
First and foremost, 2-time rewound ended up being a little bit redundant because I only have 2 of the Bulma.
Sure.
Where it works the best. It's great when it works. However, it's not more important than another Death Ball.
Yeah.
That helps again in the boom matchup and really against any matchup that they're playing 3 cost.
Sure.
That I can just stop the attack
Yeah.
or just rest combo power. So a second Death Ball in place will be that swap. And then I don't know where it will come out of, but a 4th SCR Frieza is the next most necessary change.
Yeah. Because you really like having 3 on the board.
Having 3 on the board, or even just having 2 on the board and having the freedom to charge one if I want,
Right.
instead of having to hold it in fear of not having it.
Right. Yeah, because you have to have it.
So I definitely found myself just holding 1 or 2 in hand for the right moment to play one,
Right.
afraid to charge it because then I would not have it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. We talked about 3-drop Boo.
Bloop.
Is that a possibility for your list, or are you thinking it's a different animal?
I think that there is definitely a viable version of the deck that does run it. I'm not sure if it's my version of the deck, but there is a version of the deck that runs it at a 2 or even a 3 just to help and be aggressive when it needs to be. Because this deck is not aggressive at all in its current state.
Sure.
So in the rare matchup where it needs to be, like the mirror, it's definitely useful.
Yeah, that's fair. Or is it Hamster of Mega?
Bloop.
Could be Hamster of Mega, bro.
It could be Hamster.
10K,
Mega.
30K swinger.
What a wild take.
I love that.
That was great.
Yeah. Dude, this has been really cool. Great list. Congratulations. Top 16.
Yeah.
That is really, really cool. And I'm excited to see the deck in action again. I think you've already won something else with it, right?
Yeah, as soon as I got back Monday, This Wednesday, I just won an ultimate battle.
With the same deck.
Same deck. I just swapped out the death ball.
Same. What was it again? 54?
54 cards. I swapped out a timer round for a death ball, and I'm waiting for the Frieza in the mail.
Let's go. Let's go. That's fantastic, man. Well, once again, congrats on the top 16, and look forward to seeing more out of you and out of this deck, and excited to see Vegeta taking some good games here, man.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, this has been a really cool thing, man. This is like a cut above the rest of Dragon Ball content, I feel like. I hope our listeners feel the same.
I hope it is. The production quality already feels like it's above a lot of things I've seen on the internet regarding Dragon Ball. Just, microphones and camera stands and headphones and
right.
Dedicated recording studio.
And
all
both
sorts
of us
good
like knowing what the cards do.
I didn't have to Google any Gohans. Or
Oh my god!
I was at Canada 2. I saw that.
Yep. Well, hopefully this has helped you guys that are watching as well learn a little bit more about the game, learn about Vegeta, and hopefully if you're looking into playing this deck, you're going to be able to play it better now, having watched this video. So yeah, be sure to do all the YouTube things, like, subscribe, follow the channel, all that good stuff. And hopefully we'll bring you more Dragon Ball content soon.
Hopefully.
Thanks, man.